and paces that at last mean something to the thousands of juniors playing the game today. Wojtek, Walsh, Abonyi, Marnock, Ackley and Johnny Warren, the Australian captain.
Hello and welcome to our new Captain Socceroos series.
You just feel for them, not just the boys, they are representative of so many people who make this game their life. It's just, I can't say anything, mate.
When I'm up the big football field in the sky, I just want people just to remember I told you so.
We commemorated 10 years since the passing of a true football icon across all of the A-League games this weekend. And a massive thank you to the Johnny Warren community for supplying me with this T-shirt. And you can get your hands on one of these. Go to johnnywarren.net.au/shop, where all the proceeds go to grassroots football. And we're very lucky, of course. We saw him earlier in the show to be joined tonight by a man who, alongside Johnny Warren, was referred to as Mr. and Mrs. Soccer, although we're not too sure who's who.
We never worked that out. We were too scared to go there, basically.
Now, looking back, Les, you could say the 80s and 90s that you were ahead of the curve, that you will now be looked on as the trendsetters. Did you have any inclination that that was happening at the time?
I shared Johnny Warren's view of the "I told you so" thing. So we always believed that this will happen. What's happening now? But if you told us it's going to happen at this particular time or after this many years, we probably wouldn't have believed it. I mean, some of the things that are happening now, almost every day. The latest one being the Wanderers winning the Champions League. Would have been unthinkable even 10 years ago.
Was that something that Johnny dreamt of, as us playing in Asia? How long ago did he start mentioning that?
He started talking about it in the late 80s. I mean, there were attempts for Australia to join the Asian Football Confederation earlier, but they didn't let us in. I'm talking about back in the 60s and the 70s. They didn't let us in because they were scared of us, basically, on the field of play. But Australia was a very different country then. The world was not so globalised as it is now. You know, there's no question Frank Lowy did a great job in getting us in there. And it was always doable.
Les, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Johnny's vision, and you two share the same vision. So tell us exactly what that is. I mean, especially the domestic league now that we have here, and also with the Socceroos with regards to playing style. Well,
the vision was the reason that one of the reasons why we became very good and very close friends was because we were on the same wavelength regarding the vision, and the vision was that Australia should play football and play beautiful football, and Australia. Let's explode the mythology that Johnny and I were always about promoting football. Not at all. Particularly Johnny was about enriching Australia, his country, through football. That was his mission. Because he knew that football was the international language. He wanted Australia to be a citizen of the world. He was well-travelled. He saw what football meant to people everywhere around the world, except here. So he wanted us to be conversant with the only international football language, which is football, and that's what we are accomplishing now. That's what we're on the brink of now with our professional league, with our participation in the World Cup regularly, with our integration with Asia in the Asian century. I mean, look at the Asian Cup that's coming here in January. What other sport can converse with Asia in this way? Australia will be showcased to about 800 million or 1 billion people in January through football. No other sport can do this, and throughout the world, the goodwill and everything that Australia receives through the language of football is potentially enormous. Now, regarding the style, Johnny always liked jogo bonito, as you know, the beautiful game that the Brazilians play, which has won them 5 World Cups, so why not? And he wanted us to learn from the best always, because he wanted Australia to ultimately play that way. This is not about imitating or aping the Brazilians.
Improving.
It's about improving in areas where we are not good or were not good. We were always good, we were always strong, we were always determined, mentally strong, we were fast, tough, but we couldn't trap the ball. So Johnny wanted to change that, so that we become competitive around the world, and with that style of football, we can convert hearts to football.
Now, you wrapped up a very strong innings, 34 years over at SBS. You had a very fitting farewell party earlier this week. I don't know if it was birthday celebrations continued and the farewell.
It was a ripping party, I can tell you.
We do feel like we've missed out, but here are some great images of that day. Slightly spooky. How did that make you feel? Just
the masks.
The masks.
They were everywhere.
And then
Were you singing as well?
yeah, we did it. We did it 2 45-minute sets.
now, what is your?
Fantastic rock and roll band I pulled together.
Can I ask you, what's your signature tune? What's your go-to?
Well, at this particular gig, I sang 7 songs, either solo or duet. That shot was of my daughter Tanya, by the way, who's a fabulous singer, much better than me. Anyway, so
at this particular gig, you're saying, Les,
I sang 7 songs.
Right.
The last song I sang on the set was Jumpin' Jack Flash, Rolling Stones.
Going out with a bang.
Oh, it was massive. But brilliant. Brilliant music and you know, and wine and food and everything.
I know how to.
It was a staff party, basically. But it was
I'll know who to call if there's a party going on. Now, all of you on the couch have very fond memories of Les on TV, and in particular, Johnny, this goal and this piece of commentary from Chris Calatanzas from Sydney Olympic Calancis, sorry, when Sydney beat St George in 1986. And let's take a look now.
And stolen by Escovillo. That's pretty dangerous play by David Skeen. And away goes Chris Calatanzas now. David Skeen storms back. And Calatanzas scores! Calatanzas scores! And he strips for the occasion.
Is that feeling a little bit familiar to you there, Johnny?
Oh, yeah, it does. As a kid, I used to love watching the National League, and my team was Adelaide City, so we played Sydney Olympic that year in the grand final. It was a 2-leg affair, and Adelaide City won. And the reason why that stuck with me was that I used to play at the back with my brother, and when I'd score a goal, I'd take off my top and I would say, Aloisi scores, and he stripped for the occasion. And I did it that often that it just became normal for me to take off my top. And I always said to myself, if I ever score a big goal in a massive moment.
Like this one.
Yeah, this is as a kid. I didn't think of it at that time. That's what I was going to do, but it's amazing how...
So it had nothing to do with Calatanzas, this moment.
Well, it did. It's all about Calatanzas now. And I've never seen him. I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you, Les.
Did you get booked for that, by the way?
No, it was after the final whistle, so I didn't get booked. But it's incredible. I'd love to catch up with Calatanzas. I didn't have the abs that he had.
I was going to say Calatanzas v Aloisi, who had the better body?
He's got a better body than me.
I think this is the pin-up boy.
The pin-up boy. Now, a slightly different perspective comes from you, Ned, and you were sitting next to Les, in fact, when that came.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, just the fact that as a kid growing up, just watching Les on TV all the time, and then all of a sudden, you know, I was still playing as a professional, and then got the opportunity basically to be there at the game with him, and I remember us, you know, having great discussions as well during the game, and basically towards the end, Les turning around and asking...
You change your hairstyle.
Yeah, and asking me, what do you think, you know? And I said to him, look, I think the Uruguayans are gone. Their legs are just
I remember
shot.
that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So if it goes to penalties, I really think that we will win because our concentration levels are up. And then I was down at some retail store, I was flicking through Les's book, and I saw that he actually put it in there, so it was a nice touch. I bought the book as well, Les.
I remember that, because what you said was it's not a lottery, because, you know, the stronger team is, for these reasons, is capable of more capable of winning than the other team, and that because I was very nervous, and that what you said then really calmed me. You know, I remember that.
And
that fabulous
Les,
time.
we talk about, Tara mentioned before, 34 years you're retiring. What are your plans now? Because as the game, well, not even gets into the stride, as Frank Lowy said at the launch of this year, but as the game continues to go forward, it would be great to still have you involved. What are your plans now for the future?
Well, I'll still be involved because I'll still be involved with SBS to certain levels. I just retired from doing full time what I've been doing for the past 34 years. I want to smell the roses, as Johnny Warren used to advise me all the time. So when people ask me what am I going to be doing, I don't know. I'll have to play it by ear. You know, do I spend more times in cafes and long lunches and
You see where I'm coming from.
golf?
Yeah, because, you know, I think it'd be such a shame after all the hard work that you put into football, slowly making progress, in which it has, and there's so much more progress to be made that you'd be lost completely. I hope there is some type of
Well,
role with you within
I'm a
the game.
certifiable workaholic, so I don't think I'll be just vegging out all day, every day. That's a surefire way of getting a heart attack in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
You know?
very
So I'll be very active. I'm very curious. I'm a very curious person by nature. I always want to learn. I'll travel a lot and go to places where I haven't been. Not many of which are left.
Can you 100% rule out the World Cup in Russia?
I can't rule. I'm going to be like a politician. But I can't rule anything out, Ned.
Okay.
But I have no plans. I did announce in Brazil that it was my last World Cup as a broadcaster. But who knows between now and the next 4 years what's going to happen.
That's football.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing more of you, but I can't let you go without asking you about this.
Cannavaro, Karagunis, Chicharito, William Gallas, Sanchez, Mark Bosnich, Hulk, Alexis Lalas, Wilshere, Honda, Busquets, Diki, Simao, Thierry Henry, Modric, Vidal, Patrice, Bonova, Eto'o, Zizou.
That was easily stuck in my head over the World Cup. There were 93 footballing greats named. One of them's sitting right next to you on the couch right now. Did you memorise all those names?
No. We went into a recording studio and I had the script in front of me, or the lyrics, as you call them. We did rehearse it because I had to rattle off those names in a certain rhythmic way.
Like a rapper.
At a certain time, absolutely. So, I mean, my musical background did help in that sense, but it was a lot of fun. And I'll be performing that at a lunch in Melbourne on the 19th of
November?
19th of November, where Pele will be the special guest. Bozza knows all about it.
That's right.
So I'm going to perform this with the guys from Vaudeville Smash at that lunch.
There you go.
Gosh,
Can't wait.
that's great entertainment for everyone. A big thank you so much for joining us, Les, on the couch. I'm sure we're going to see
Just
much
want to say
more
on
of
behalf
you.
of everybody, not only here at Tara, but everyone on behalf of football, we'd love to see you still involved in the games. You've done so much for us. Thank you very much.
You won't get rid of me that easily.
That's good. Thank you. That's good news.
We don't doubt that at all. And it would be an absolute honour if we could get you to throw us to a break.
Time for a break here on Shootout. See you soon.